Remember I've told you that the easiest way to understand this forward kick is to manipulate the torso with the standing leg and feel that pull the hip back and forth. Okay? So, as the hip pulls back and forth, this is just something like if you had you go like this, the end is going to start going like this, right? So, pulling the hip back and forth finally makes the foot go up in the back and then swing forward. Now, there's only one little bit of, now this is an example. Like I say, you have to be able to send energy through the body and at the same time make shapes with it without interfering with the energies. So, if you didn't make any shape, it would just do this. Right? So you deliberately bend at the knee. So you delay this. In other words, as this is coming back, you pull this up. Then you sort of hold it there for a second. As the whole thing returns, then you release it. Okay? So, and the exercise for this, the exercise for this is kicking yourself in the ass. If you can't kick yourself in the ass, it means your forward motion isn't powerful enough. It means you're just sort of faking it and then kind of going like this. No, it's the motion of the body. This has to be completely empty. In other words, this is still empty. The leg is totally empty. But the only thing that makes it elevate is lifting the knee. Right? So if I say, first, kick yourself in the ass a few times. And make sure that's really good. And then at the last moment, reverse it. But keep the ass-kicking position for a second, okay? Now, everybody got that?
Yeah. And what's the ass-kicking position? I blanked.
Bend over.
Of the leg, not of the opponent. Okay. Now, wait a minute though. There's actually another way. So the whole power of this, in other words, no power came from the leg at all. All the power came from simply manipulating this hip. This is like the handle of the whip. You don't need to do anything with the whip. You know, like with the whip. I'm going to go like this, and then at the last minute I'm going to run forward and go, I'm going to add a little extra to the hip, you know. Even if I could do that, it would be a futile exercise. It would just interfere with the wave. Okay? So when you try to go, and you try to like add a little extra, it totally destroys the jig of the movement. It has to just be completely, it has to stay completely empty until it fills naturally from the whole progression of everything and comes out at the end. Now, there's another way to make that hip go back and forth. Opening and closing the quad. And if you know, you got to feel this in your foot. You can't just sort of kind of go like this. You have to feel like, you have to feel this moment where the foot feels like it's really going boom like this on the floor, right? So you don't just go back and then start, but you make it like a whip. You can't go boom like this. You have to make it part of the weight, right? So here, when you feel the force go down to the floor, then pull it back. Now that pulls the hip back, then back power with the kick exactly the same way. There's only one change that's different. Here, hip's going perfectly back and forth. Here, it's making a little arc. Right? That arc will tend to make your leg swing out this way and around this way, and it'll mess the kick up. So that's another little discipline you have to put on it. As you go back, you have to purposely open this so that it goes back and doesn't just follow your leg back.
Open what?
Try it. Just leave your leg completely loose.
Yeah.
And do this. It sort of does this weird thing like this, right? So you have to control it so it stays in this forward and back motion. But you should be able to do that without interfering with the power. And notice how delayed it can be. It's from boom. But watch my arms. That's what makes it work. See, when you, in other words, all I've told you up to now would indicate that you just make the force go from here to here to here.
Yeah.
Right? No, if you try to do that, you're going to stiff it up. And then the whole thing is going to be weak, right? So you have to make sure that the upper body is expressing all this correctly so that you get the full power to flow into here. So, what arm moves first? This one, substantial.
Yeah.
Right.
Then this one, then this. So, here's the way I analyze kicks. First, forget about the arms and think, what would I do if I just did go directly from here to here? Well, boom, 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 boom. And I still have to correct this tendency for it to swing in a circle. I say, but you can correct that. Okay. Now, I say, okay, so I've got the sort of basic motion down. Now I'm going to forget the kick and say, what happens to this arm when I do that? Yeah, discover it kind of.
On one
Goes
leg.
in a funny little circle. Yeah, stay on one leg, because you're going to kick from one leg, right? So you sort of figure out what the arm does, and you think, okay, now I'm going to let that happen and see what this arm does. It's sort of, and that's the kick. So it goes boom, boom, boom. That's why it says the arm and the foot move together. It's the second motion of the arm.
So are we supposed to do that in the form?
Yeah, of course you are. Yeah.
Double checking.
That's your chance to do it. Okay. So, in other words, that's pretty elaborate, dissection of the heel kick, right? Now, suppose we apply exactly the same idea to the side kick. Okay? So I say, okay, well, what's the simplest version? Just like this was the simplest version of the forward kick. This is the simplest version of the side kick. Tip, in other words, you're tipping towards the opponent, swinging the leg back, then tipping away. Here's the same. Tip towards the opponent, this draws this up. Then as you tip away, the foot leg comes out. Yeah. So you should kind of get that going first. Let's see how amusing this class can be.
So
Okay.
You're kicking with the right, you're going to the right, and then on the way back, this comes up and pips?
No,
No.
it comes up when you go to the right. Here.
Right,
When
right.
you tip the other way, that's when it kicks.
Yeah, when I said when it came out.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Feel like you're pulling it in. And I don't turn and kick like this. You kick with this bone here. Yeah, with this side of the foot at the heel. That's where you want to kick with. But try not to do this. Okay? Some of you are kind of turning it into a horizontal, front kick. But no, it has to snap out sideways. It has to snap up. Yeah, up. Like that. It's a harder kick. And now,
Sorry, the other side.
let's say, wait a minute though. What happens if we use chance of change? What's that going to mean? Well, as I analyzed it, you're going to turn in like this, you're going this way, and turn the other way when you throw this thing out. Okay? No, other way.
Other way.
Yeah,
I don't mean,
you're doing this.
right,
I'm doing this.
Yeah.
Close the
Turning
claw.
away.
turning away.
Right.
How did that come back?
You're
Yeah, see, that was better.
closing and opening?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the kick is on the opening.
Right.
Close and
Look at that.
open.
Damn.
Like that. Now, how come everyone's falling over? Because we haven't analyzed what happens with the arms. The same reason people fall over when they try to do this,
Right.
They're not letting this fully express, right? So I say, okay, well, now I've figured out the basic motion. It's a little complex. I gotta do this, I gotta do this, and then I gotta reverse all those things. This reverses, and you get the heel kick. Okay, I mean the side kick. Now, what happens to your arm when you do it? Well, this is substantial. So first this arm moves. And then this one moves. You keep perfect balance.
Pretty good.
But you can't freeze them up. I see some of you going like, you gotta stay loose.
What happens if you hold your breath? Like
Well,
I
say
did?
That's the worst.
Okay.
But the arms are just following the action of the drum.
Yeah, right. So let's say you,
So the Daruma, if we concentrate the arms, everything falls apart.
yeah, if you do what?
Concentrate on the arms
Right.
rather than
One,
the
two,
waist and
three.
the tilting. And the Daruma seems like things fall apart. They do for me.
What do you mean, if you concentrate on the arm? That's
I
what
think
you
if
concentrate on the
you,
arm.
if you think of the movement starting the
Oh, no,
arms,
they don't
go
start
like
with the
this.
arms.
Right.
No, but they're expressed substantial, insubstantial.
Right.
So it keeps, and then turns back, boom, boom, boom. So you feel like this is happening. And you get very nice balance.